Welcome everyone to this week's edition of AHSAA Weekly, brought to you by AmFirst. We've got a great lineup for you today. First, we'll talk with Trinity Presbyterian volleyball coach Sarah Dubberly. Her team is the 2021 Class 3A state champs, now playing in 4A, and they just knocked off defending 7A state champion Spain Park last weekend. Next, we'll meet Central Florence High School head football coach Heath Wood. His team won a game for the ages last week, beating Westminster Christian 70-69 with a Hail Mary touchdown pass on the last play of the game, followed by a winning 2-point conversion. We've got our 6th installment today of a series on our AHSAA Making a Difference recipients. This week, we'll meet Class 6A recipient Linda Moore, who served as Athens City Schools athletic director. We'll keep highlighting this month as Suicide Prevention Month by hearing a message from the Jason Foundation. And we'll close this week's show like we always do with video highlights from David Holtzford. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
We are so pleased to welcome to the program today Trinity Presbyterian volleyball coach Sarah Dubberly and senior setter Addison Cherry. Welcome to the program, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. Well, I want to talk about where you are this season, but let's jump like a little bit to last season. First of all, you guys won the 3A state championship, so that meant that you moved up into 4A. But then just this past weekend, you beat the defending Class 7A state champ, Spain Park. Tell me what that felt like.
I mean, it was awesome, because they probably just thought we were like a small school that, they probably never even heard of. But it was a really fun game. I think we played with a lot of energy, and we really wanted to win that game. So it was really fun.
I was super proud of the girls. The first set, I don't think that they fully understood, like, y'all can absolutely do this. And so gave them a little motivation to do so. And I was just so pleased with how they responded and came out and took sets 2 and 3.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, I want to ask you, I can't help but ask you because I think it's so interesting. Last year in the state championship finals, I understand that you played your husband's volleyball team. He's a volleyball coach at Catholic. That's a crosstown rival there in Montgomery. Tell me a little bit about how that felt and how it might have been at home, maybe leading up to and then after that match.
I think we had a pretty good idea at the beginning of last year that there was a high likelihood that might happen. We just try and keep it all in perspective and remind ourselves that we're blessed to each have our own program and that each of our programs are doing well enough to make it to where we have to see each other in the state championship. So
that is really awesome. Well, let's pivot a little bit to the future here. Well, in the present, right now, you guys are 27-5, which is outstanding. Tell us a little bit about what you think the rest of the season holds for your team.
You go.
I think we have a lot of potential to make it far this year. And I mean, we've been doing pretty good, Usually like towards the beginning of the season we kind of start off slow, but I think this year we really started off like with a lot of like motivation, and I think that's good because we won 2 state championships, and sometimes it's easy to like let up and just be like, I got it. But I think that we all know that Catholic's a good team, which is one of our big opponents. And so we all just have a lot of motivation to beat them. And yeah.
We have been focusing this year a lot on every time we step on the court, improving, whether it's in practice or in games, rather than proving that we're in the position that we have been in. And so that's been our mentality, isn't that we have anything to prove. It's just every time we get on the floor, we're going to continue to grow.
Well, that's great. Coach Dubberly, I think you're probably an expert and, able to talk about this next question. But according to the NFHS, volleyball is the fastest growing high school sport in the nation. And with you being a coach and with your husband being a coach, I mean, I guess you can feel that personally. But what do you think the future holds for high school volleyball? I was an Air Force kid, so I grew up all over, and in other places I lived, kids used school volleyball to get better for club season. And my husband and I have always coached travel volleyball together. But here in Alabama, I feel like it's almost flipped. Kids play school ball to improve for high school. And I'll be interested to see if that ever changes and there's more of a push for kids playing at the next level. But I understand why it's growing. Volleyball is such a fun sport. It's fun to watch. It's quick. It's not boring. So I understand why it's growing so much. And I love it. Well, it shows. And thank you both so much for joining us this week. We look forward to seeing what you do the rest of the season, and we will be back right after this on AHSAA TV Weekly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
We are so excited to welcome to the program this week Coach Heath Woods from Central of Florence, and also his quarterback, Jackson Brewer. You guys, first of all, welcome to the program.
Susan, thank you. We appreciate you guys having us on and covering our school.
Well, absolutely. And you guys had quite an amazing game Friday night. The final score, it looks more like a basketball score. The final score was 70-69. And we're going to talk to you, and then a little bit later, we're actually going to talk to your running back, Bryant Handback. But first of all, Jackson, you tied the game with a last-second Hail Mary. Tell me kind of what was going through your mind as that play was unfolding.
Well, we practice every week on the Hail Mary, and I was feeling very confident after the good snap from Ashton Goodlow. And, when the ball's flying through there, I had confidence in my wide receivers to get the ball, and it did.
And, Coach, what were you thinking just in that moment, ball flying through the air? Did you think you had a chance?
Yeah, we work 2-minute drill every week, and, we got down there in that situation there, got the ball down there in the area to where we could get it to the end zone, and, felt like if we could get the ball off, we would have a chance to go get it. And again, these guys practice it every week, and they were prepared for the situation.
Well, Coach, I understand this is your 12th season at Central of Florence, and you are currently the winningest head football coach in the school's history. So tell me, have you ever seen a game, an end of a game at least, unfold in that fashion?
Susan, I have not. Been around here a long time, seen a lot of football games, and that's the first Hail Mary victory that I can recall as long as I've been coaching, for sure.
Well, okay, thank you so much, Jackson, for being here. And next, we're going to meet your running back, Bryant Handback. Welcome, Bryant Handback, running back, to the program. Bryant, you had an amazing game Friday night. You rushed for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns. How did the game feel to you?
It felt good. Felt good going into it. I couldn't have got all those yards about my line. It's a good game.
Well, and what do you guys both feel like, the rest of the season holds for your team? This was a huge high, I'm sure. So what's next?
To get to where we're at the other night, we made a lot of mistakes, Susan, and that's the first thing we got to do is fix these mistakes we made to allow that many points. I am proud of the kids for going and scoring that many, but at the same time, we got a lot of areas of the game, the special teams, and some things on defense there we got to clean up. But as far as the kids' effort and how hard they played and the guts they shown the other night, I can't ask more out of them than that.
Well, Coach, I think that I can't end this without asking you about that decision. You make the Hail Mary, tie the game. Tell me what it was like to decide, are you going to kick and go into overtime or go for the 2-point conversion, which you did and ended up winning. But just tell me a little bit about your thought process during that moment.
Yeah, just total confidence in the team itself, and offensive coordinator there dialing the play up. Just confident in what was going on at the time, and felt like that was the thing to do. And the kids went out and executed it. And can't say enough about them. And put ourselves in that situation, but we were able to overcome it, and I'm definitely proud of them for sure.
Well, Bryant, what about you? What do you think the rest of the season holds for your team?
I mean, we got Rogers this week, and that's a big region game. You got to go out and take care of business there and just try to get in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you all for your time. Good luck the rest of the season. I know you're probably still riding high from last Friday night, but you got to get back to work and focus going forward. So we wish you all the best. Thanks for being here.
Susan, thanks again for having us on.
Thanks. We love introducing you to the AHSAA Making a Difference recipients. This week, we meet Class 6A recipient Linda Moore. Linda serves as Athens City Schools Athletic Director.
I grew up in a small town outside of Tuscaloosa, Centerville. It's in Bibb County, and my biggest inspiration growing up was my first grade teacher, Miss Goldsmith. She always inspired her entire class to be the best that they can be. She would always let us know that, hey, it doesn't matter where you came from, you can be great. And that stayed with me throughout my life. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher at a young age. Outside playing, had lots of papers, pretending like I was the teacher, and my friends or cousins were the students. So I knew from a young age that I wanted to be in education. Once I got out of high school, went to college, I started out being a math major and a computer science major, but then I still had that urge to be in the classroom. What has helped me be successful at Athens High School and Athens Middle School, coming from a smaller school system, a 4A school system, it's just the students themselves. When I first got to Athens, I thought, well, this is North Alabama, it's different than Central Alabama, it's different than the Black Belt. But I found that the students are the same. They all need love, they all need care, they all want someone to listen to them and encourage them and help them be productive adults. Going from Central Alabama to North Alabama, or going from one school system to another school system, there are some things that you do change and adjust to, and then there are some things that stay the same. I can say what has stayed the same is I have stayed true to who I am, just being humble, just continue to care about the students, just continue to be involved in the school system as a whole and in the community. Some things that I have changed is that I guess I've become more of an outgoing person. With the many different sports at Athens City Schools, I've had to be around more, be more out in the open, and I've enjoyed that. I'm more of, I guess you can say, an introvert, but now I've made that transition to be more of an extrovert and be out and open and meeting new people and learning the different ways that things are done in North Alabama than they were done in South and Central Alabama, which that has been a great thing. We have been able to, I guess you can say, tag team with different students. If he sees a student that may need my help, he'll send them my way. If I see a student who needs his help, I'll send them his way. Our goal is to just try to reach every student that we can, to be a positive role model for our young men and women, because we want them to one day take our spots and to also be productive and to just pay it forward to others.
Hello, I'm Clark Flatt, president of the Jason Foundation. The Jason Foundation's mission is education and awareness about the silent epidemic of youth and young adult suicide. It isn't always obvious when someone is struggling, but 4 out of 5 people demonstrate some signs, either behaviorally or verbally, when they are contemplating suicide. The Jason Foundation appreciates the collaboration with the Alabama High School Athletic Association and their commitment to sharing information that focuses on raising the conversation about youth and young adult suicide. The Alabama High School Athletic Association provides an outlet to share the Jason Foundation's programs and resources with coaches that would not be possible without their cooperation. It is with grateful appreciation that we acknowledge the collaboration and thank the Alabama High School Athletic Association for joining us in youth and young adult suicide awareness and prevention. The great work by the Alabama High School Athletic Association to provide their coaches with the information to better serve their student athlete has impacted lives and possibly even saved lives. The Jason Foundation is proud to support the great work of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Thank you.
The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
Once again this week, there was high school sports excitement from every corner of the state. Let's see some of the best from this past week in David Holtzford's highlights. We open this week's highlights with Auburn hosting Opelika in girls flag football action. We pick up the action with Auburn quarterback Brooke Hallman throwing a touchdown pass to Tate Pearson to open the scoring on the night. Later in the first half, Auburn uses a little trickery when Soraya Daniels goes in motion, catches the snap, and tosses the ball to Christiana Ware, who then flips the ball back to Hallman, who slings it to Daniels, who's wide open for the touchdown. Daniels would have 84 yards receiving and several pass breakups as Auburn wins over the Bulldogs 15-7. We drop in on New Hope and North Jackson, Class 4A volleyball action in North Alabama. New Hope's Evie Billar stood out at the net with 19 kills, pushing her past 400 kills on the season. Billar does a great job hitting the ball where the defense isn't and delivering powerful strikes impossible to be returned. McKinley Keel added 16 kills for the Lady Indians, and Haley Parker added 9 digs to help New Hope win the match, 3-0, improving to 23-9 on the season. We head next to Decatur to check out football action, boys style, with Class 7A Austin High School hosting 6A Gardendale. Tyler Nelson gets the visiting Rockets on the scoreboard first when he keeps on a quarterback read option and runs 16 yards for the score. Later in the first half, De'Air Young connects with Lenarian Wynn in the end zone for a 15-yard touchdown, giving Austin a 10-7 lead. Gavin Fuqua then scores on the 5-yard run, a score that proves to be the difference as Coach Jimmy Perkins' Black Bears win 17-10. Moving down I-65 to Clanton, we find Chilton County's Class 6A Tigers hosting 5A Tallahassee Tigers in a Central Alabama mashup. With Chilton County leading 7-0, DeMarcus Riddick finds the seam in Tallahassee's punt coverage and speeds 47 yards on this punt return for another Clanton touchdown. Tallahassee would storm back, however, with Joshua Griffin intercepting Cannon Miller's pass in the red zone, taking it back for a touchdown to cut the lead to 14-7. Tallahassee's Cade Everson steps up to tie the game with this stunning 84-yard touchdown run to tie the game at 14-14. Moving to the fourth quarter, Chilton County is trailing 21-14 when quarterback Cannon Miller finds Jacoby Worthy for a 19-yard touchdown with just under 2 minutes left. And Castillo ties the game at 21-21 with the point after the kick. In overtime, Castillo delivers again with a game-winning 25-yard field goal on 3rd down. The Tigers then seal the win when Riddick intercepts the Tallahassee pass in the end zone as Chilton County walks away with a 24-21 overtime victory. We go next to Mobile, where Faith Academy is hosting St. Paul's Episcopal in search of the school's first victory over the Saints in the 14th meeting between the two. Faith quarterback Jarrett Daughtry made it simple, connecting on 15 of 16 passes just 1 week after going 11 for 11. He threw for 246 yards and 3 touchdowns Friday night, including this touchdown to Tynean Goodwill, followed by a 60-yard touchdown to Tyrell Dodson. E.J. King added 99 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns on 4 carries as the Rams won 34-7, breaking the Saints' domination at 13 games. Class 3A Mars Hill Bible traveled to Class 5A Russellville in what turned out to be one of the top games of the week. Trailing early 7-0, Mars Hill's Damian Thompson fields this kickoff at the Panthers' 10-yard line, gets a couple of key blocks, and breaks free for a 90-yard kickoff return and game-tying touchdown. The excitement continued with great plays from Russellville. First, this one by T.J. King, who catches a quick pass and turns on the afterburners to score. And fellow receiver Randall Johnson follows with this juggling act as he runs down the field, refusing to lose the ball or be tackled on his way to this touchdown, giving the Tigers the lead. The final heroics comes from Mars Hill backup quarterback Aiden Kennedy. He stepped in for injured starter Griffin Hansen during the second half and leads the Panthers down the field, completing 3 passes for 33 yards, capped off by this lob into the end zone to Damian Thompson for the game-tying touchdown pass. Mars Hill kicks the extra point and escapes with a 31-30 win. Next, we show you an exciting matchup in North Alabama as Central Florence hosted Westminster Christian. The game had a combined 139 points, 1,236 yards of total offense, and a state record of 67 first downs, with 57 points combined scored in the fourth quarter. Phew! Let's check out the final 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, edited down to 2 minutes of live action. Capped by the game-winning catch on a tipped ball by Central's Drake Dorsett, as the hosts escape with a shocking 70-69 win over Westminster Christian. We thank Carl Mush and Jimmy Lay from the Live Wildcat YouTube channel for submitting this highlight. We close out this week's highlights with commentary and video from last week's AHSAA TV Network Game of the Week between Calhoun County powerhouses Anniston and Piedmont, hosted by Mickey Shadricks and Rick Rhodes.
And a thriller at the Field of Champions tonight. The Anniston Bulldogs built a huge lead, only to see Piedmont come back, only to see Anniston hold on, get the big interception here. And Anniston holds on to win this one tonight, 30-28, to improve to 6-0 on the season. Mickey Shadricks along with Coach Rick Rhodes. Boy, you talk about wild swings in this one. 14-7 game at halftime. Anniston wins the third quarter, 16-0. Piedmont wins the fourth quarter, 21-0. Anniston wins the game.
Well, I mean, it was a shootout. I mean, you know, we had records, we had great plays, exciting moments, about everything you want in a football game, and you kind of see the ebb and flow right here. Piedmont started out like gangbusters. Anniston came back, took control of the game, thought maybe it might go the other way. There's the tying score right there. But Piedmont came roaring back, but in the end, really, Anniston made a couple more plays. This is a big play in the game right here. Remember that number 6. You might see that again sometime tonight. and Anniston will take advantage of the post route right here. Beautifully thrown, great route. And it looked like Anniston was going to run out of the back end of the stadium, but here's the 2-point play that took it to 30-7, I think.
This took it to 14-7 at half, and then we head to the second half, and then Anniston really got it going in that third quarter. And this was a big play here is the strip.
And guess who?
Yep, number 6. Anniston had some big takeaways, and they took advantage when they had them. Taylor here, right after the takeaway, he takes it to the house.
Yeah, right up the chute behind that big offensive line that had such a great game right here. And now some razzle-dazzle with the deep crossing route that's hit for a big gain. It's going to set up some more action.
Sandlin had 2 passing touchdowns and then a rushing touchdown. Big gain for the Anniston quarterback. Again, Anniston dominated the third quarter. An incredible play here on the 2-point play. Taylor pitched it back to Sandlin, who wound up getting it in for the 2-point conversion.
But Piedmont will answer.
Raleigh Pinto, the freshman receiver, really was the go-to guy for Jack Hayes in that fourth quarter as Hayes and Piedmont came to life, Coach. Again, outscoring Anniston 21-0 in that fourth quarter. Pinto with a touchdown catch here. And then this was a big turnover here as Piedmont took it away from Anniston.
Yes, it was right here. The ball out a little bit loose, and Piedmont comes up with it. And of course, this will, correct me if I'm wrong, Mickey, I think this either ties or breaks the record for touchdown passes. More importantly, it gives Piedmont fighting chance. This scramble on first down will set up another play, and here we go again.
There's that man Pinto. Nice adjustment.
And just a beautiful throw here on the corner route. Leads it perfectly, and we got ourselves a football game.
This touchdown catch and the 2-point conversion pulled Piedmont to within 2. It was anybody's game at this point. They come up with a big stop there, and they get it back. But you mentioned number 6, and Coach, he shows up again right here.
Yeah, just what you want a safety to do, patrol the middle of that field, and his really third turnover of the game that he was responsible for, and just a great job by that young man. And in the end, just a little bit too much Anniston type Bulldog, and they come up with a two-point win.
All right, we're joined now down on the field by Anniston head coach Rico White. Coach, first off, congratulations on the win tonight. What a game! And this, there's no region things at stake here tonight. This is just 2 Calhoun County teams, 2 top 10 teams coming into this week. Hadn't played in decades. And you come in here against a team that's won the 3A state championship 4 out of the last 7 years. Your team really looked good tonight. You're off to a great start. Again, a lot of ebb and flows in this game. I just got to get your overall thoughts about your team's win here tonight.
Man, first, God get all the glory. My team played well. But like I said, the second half, with that big lead, sometimes teams get relaxed and adversity set in. And we still fought to the end, but we can't keep doing that. It's not safe.
Coach, tell me a little bit about Jaden Dobbins. He had those 2 big interceptions, one to set up a score and one to kind of save the bacon, so to speak. Guys, it looked like he was all over the field.
Yes, I tell you what, you expect that from guys like him. He's an explosive player. He's a leader, and someone had to make a play. He stepped up and did it. I'm glad he did, but we expect those kind of things from those type of players.
Coach, kind of a big picture question here. Your team is off to a really good start. Now you're 6-0. You're ranked in the top 10. We mentioned at the beginning of our telecast how the way you've started this year is kind of bringing back some memories of the old glory days of Anniston football. Talk about what's been key for you since coming to Anniston and getting this program where it is right now.
I think the biggest thing is setting a good foundation and a standard. And this off season, working hard every day, it carries over. Those hard summer days and pushing each other, pushing the coaches. I mean, it's work. So it paid off tonight, and that's what we work for.
Well, Coach, it doesn't get any easier next week, does it?
No, we got Hanley coming to town. Yeah. I'm going to try to sleep for about 2 hours, then I'll get on them.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. And, again, congratulations on the win, and good luck next week against another tough team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks.
Well, that does it for this week's edition of AHSAA TV Weekly. Be sure to send your highlights to David Holsford, and don't forget to tune in to this week's Game of the Week on Thursday night. This week we'll have Orange Beach at St. Michael's. See you next week right back here on AHSAA TV Weekly.